Review video for Chapter 4, we're going to take a look at Section 4.7, Complete the Square. So let's take a look at page 321 and number 36. So in number 36, okay, let me get my pen here. It gives us the equation 3x squared minus 12x plus 1 equals 0. All right, I'm going to actually do this problem two ways. On the left-hand side, the first way, we're just going to solve the equation by completing the square. So to do that, the very first step is we're going to move any numbers over to the right-hand side. So we have 3x squared minus 12x equals negative 1. Now, if you have a coefficient in front of your squared term, you can't have that for complete the square. So the first step you must do is factor that out. So you have x squared minus 4x equals negative 1. Now, we need to add a number to complete the square. So we need to add a number here, and we're going to need to add a number over here to fix what we just did. Now remember, the number that goes here is always going to be half the middle term squared. So when we do that, we get negative 2 squared, which is 4. So that's the number that goes there. Now be careful. Did I really just add 4? No, I added 3 times 4 on this side, so that's why I've got to add 12 on that side. So why did I complete the square? So this becomes a perfect square trinomial, and it factors to x minus 2 quantity squared, and that's going to equal 11. We're next going to divide both sides by 3. So we have x minus 2 quantity squared equals 11 thirds. And then at this point, we're going to use the square root method. Take the square root of both sides. And we have x minus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 11 over the square root of 3. And then remember, we can really quickly fix this. And then we have x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 33 over 3. And that is how you solve by completing the square. Now, similarly, we can write an equation in vertex form using a similar method. So had I written this as an equation, y equals 3x squared minus 12x plus 1, this is how it's slightly different. Instead of subtracting a 1, what I'm going to do is leave it on this side, but leave a spot. Same process, I need to factor out the 3. So we have x minus 4x, x squared minus 4x, plus some number, and then the plus 1 here. Okay, now I'm going to add a number here, but since I'm adding a number on the same side, I need to subtract that number to fix what I just did. And the same process, I take half the middle term squared, and that's how I get plus 4. But remember, I didn't add just 4, I added 12, so that's why I've got to subtract it from there. Continuing to factor, you have 3 times the quantity x minus 2 squared minus 11, and then you're done. This is vertex form. Thus, the vertex of this parabola is going to occur at 2, negative 11. Okay, so that's a slightly different, or 2 different ways I could ask a question. Solving on the left, which gives you answers for your x, or write in vertex form to find the vertex. And that's pretty much what we did in section 4.7.